I'm Kurt Shimmers. Every day, fortunes are gained and lost in the financial markets. News, trends, and even geopolitical events shape your financial landscape. Join me and my expert guests right now on Traders Nation. Welcome. You are tuned into Traders Nation. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Don and I have got a packed show. Dee Carter is going to be with us here today, president of Carter Financial Group. We're going to be talking about crude oil prices are sharply lower, and there's some worries going on out there in regards, the China economy, what's going on there and how it's tied in. Plus, Don and I are going to be talking about some profit taking going on out there in the market. Specifically with our data centers, they're looking good and holding up. A little bit of profit taking going on here. Plus, towers. So data centers and towers are going to be on the list. So we got gas, we got stocks, we got a whole lot more. Stay tuned right here to Traders Nation. We'll be right back.
Traders Nation, if you promise not to tune out, we promise not to talk about you while you're gone. Traders Nation. Traders Nation. Get Pro Online DVD Trader today. Whether you're an experienced trader or just beginning, you'll improve your skills dramatically. Click on the Knowledge Center button to order your copy today. Traders Nation, delivering what you want when you want it. Traders Nation. Traders Nation. Live.
It's on the whole time.
Bringing traders coverage of the markets, solid trading strategies, potential hot stock movers, world-class guests, informative callers, and unsurpassed market chatter for traders to take all the way to the bank.
You guys got some great stuff coming out. I mean, a great station.
Stay on top.
This is always changing. It's always fresh. Something new.
Stay tuned in. Traders Nation.
There's always something to look forward to.
Clearly, you can hear the difference. Traders Nation. It's the Traders Nation Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Forbes. You're watching Traders Nation.
That's right. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. Thanks for making us part of your day. Hey, Don, so listen, this is what's going on out there, all right? So we're looking at the charts here today. We got some data centers that are on our list. We got some towers that are on our list, certainly. And there's some profit taking going on. A lot of these have been trading near their 52-week highs, etc. I mean, they've made gorgeous charts. We've been talking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, okay? But they're holding up nicely. A little profit taking going on here. And that's okay, Don, because isn't that what it's all about, right? We're supposed to make money. We're not supposed to just trade and not make money. We're supposed to trade and maybe make some money in the means of it, right? So that's what's going on here today. I do want to talk about some data centers. DLR is on the top of our list here today. Don, Digital Realty Trust, currently trading at $116.99 right now. 600,000 shares exchanging hands on this bad boy. Up $3 though since we spoke about it last. But there is some profit taking going on. All right. If you look at some of these, they're right at that level. You see some selling going on, and potentially a rollover. So bring your charts up. DLR, Don, your thoughts on all this?
Well, Digital Realty, and by the way, if you take a look at the market today, when declining stocks outweigh gaining stocks, the market goes down.
Sure, I know. So, pretty simple, straight.
But seriously, the data center stocks continue to hold.
Yeah.
Now they had a mediocre 2018, but so far the start here in 2019 is good for a very good reason.
Sure.
Now these data center stocks are going to be around for a long time.
Yeah.
DLR, Digital Realty Trust, plays a very handsome dividend, trading in here at 117. It's down over $1 today. But actually, if you look at these stocks, they're not that far off their 52-week highs.
Yeah.
So these data center companies, especially the hyper data centers, and by hyper data centers I mean the companies that go after the big boys and have these massive, large, hyperscale data centers, they're going to be around for a long, long time. These and the towers, this data business is crushing it. So DLR down today. They're all down. If you take a look at the charts here on all of them, modest profit taking, but give them some time. And my bet is they'll be around and they'll be up for a long time coming.
Yeah, without no doubt. And you're right, Don. Who's going to store the data of Amazons and the Walmarts of the world? Seriously, and these hyper data centers are got to be the ones that do it. That's a posing question for all these larger companies that have this mass amounts of data, and they're poised to ask who's gonna hold that data for us, and these data centers are the ones going to do it, and they are. Don, we talked about this on how many editions of Traders Nation where data is king now. Okay, if you can store the data. I don't know about you, Don. Listen, I have backups, and then I have backups of my backups, and this is called redundancy. And then I might even have a backup of my backup of my backup. I mean, you can't have enough backups, Don. And right, especially listen, especially when your data is so valuable to you, it's your life, it's your livelihood. Somebody's got to store it, and you're going to have 10 backups of your data, right? So data centers here to stay. It's going to be a growth industry without a doubt. Don, your thoughts?
Well, yes, backup is here to stay.
Sure.
Now, do we want to talk about this European company? This is one I'm introducing.
Okay.
And, we've got these retail data centers. Now, this next company, INXN is the symbol.
Gotcha.
And the company is Interxion Holdings, NV, the NV standing for European.
Okay.
So this is a European data center company. Now, it's no secret that many of the larger companies, Microsoft, Amazon, etc., are expanding all around the world. Well, here's a retail data center along with CoreSite, which we're going to talk about, and Equinix, which we're also going to talk about.
Yeah.
These are network-dense campuses. These are called retail data centers, and they're nothing more than large campuses where companies lease out space to store their data. So this is one of the big leaders in the European sector, and I want the folks out there to take that symbol down, INXN.
Sure.
This is another one not far off its 52-week high. They're all real estate investment trusts, these stocks we're talking about, and they all pay dividends.
All right, here's that ticker for you again. Once again, folks, I is in international, N is in Nancy, X is in X-ray, N is in Nancy. INXN. Right, Don? All right, Equinix.
Equinix,
Equinix. EQIX. Echo, Quebec International X-ray, currently trading at $427.32 here today. 96,000 shares exchange in hand so far, up $10 since we spoke on the last edition of Traders Nation. Holding that gap up, Don, digesting those gains from that gap up. Very, very healthy for that to do, because a lot of times, Don, you get these gap ups or gap downs, and the market always wants to fill that gap one way or the other. Well, it's not doing that to the downside, which is very nice. I'm liking that. EQIX, Don.
Well, these are the companies that focus on the hyperscale customers, and Equinix being one. Again, to repeat myself, this is a 52-week high of $467. It's a $400 stock trading in here, down $3 today at $427, and a little profit taking in here. But these data center stocks have all come back strongly here at the start of 2019. So these are the ones in the retail data center stocks, the data center. These are the ones you want to be keeping an eye on.
Totally. And here's some other information for you folks, too. A couple days from now, dividend play coming up, $2.46, which is another reason why some of these are doing fantastic, Don, is that these are dividend plays. That's the caveat to this stuff, right?
That's right.
Yeah, dividend $2.46.
And unlike some of the other data centers, these data center stocks are going to continue to grow because these companies, these large international companies with massive amounts of data, want and need some place to store that data. The only downside would be if some of the larger companies begin to build their own data centers, but that's off in the future. But for now, these data center companies are holding up here in the first quarter.
That's interesting. Now, that would shake things up. So let's say Amazon or Walmart of the world to decide to bring it in-house, right? And that's not out of the question, is it, Don?
No.
That would really shake up. And that kind of, it may bring some of these companies like Core and DLR to think about that in case of, all right? Because certainly anything's possible, and they have to think out their infrastructure and they're building out, and keep that in mind that, hey, we may lose that customer because they got enough cash to bring it on the inside. All right?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Yeah. What's up next? What do we got up next here? CoreSite?
Well, CoreSite Realty, same thing. Nothing's changed. CoreSite, same thing. Hyperscale company. COR is the symbol. Stock's down $1 and a quarter today.
Yeah.
Again, another one. Look, stock's trading at 104, 117, 52-week high. Same repetitive message. Pays a dividend and a nice dividend.
Yeah.
And once again, it's one of these data center stocks growing very rapidly. The barrier of entry into this business is not easy. This is a capital-intensive business, so these companies have to raise large amounts of capital to build out these data centers and then go capture the customers. So we've laid out these data center companies very nicely for our viewers.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So, and these data center companies, they know that the barrier of entry is very, very stout. Okay, and they know that their only potential competitors are going to be their current clients. All right, so there's some risk ratio factors there. Hey, currently right now, COR trading at $103.94, 93 cents area, slightly rolled over. All right, needs to hold this 200-day moving average right here on COR done. Okay, let's move on to towers. CCI, Crown Castle International, certainly on the top of our towers list, currently trading at $118.68. Here today, trading pretty much at the same level where we left it on the last edition of Traders Nation, Don. Watch out for some profit taking here. Again, the message of the day, profit taking going on with some of these. Oh, we're out of time, Don. Dang it. All right, so let's do this, Don. Let's do this. Dee Carter is going to be coming up next. We're going to be talking with Dee about crude oil prices, okay? What's going on here in the United States, and then China, Saudi Arabia, Russia. How are they playing in all this? So we're going to talk to Dee about that. Plus, on the other side, we'll come back, shotgun a couple stocks for you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Traders Nation salutes America. Stay strong, stay proud, and stay in the green with us. Traders Nation live, bold, and packed for profit every weekday morning. Traders Nation live, bold, and packed for profit. Sign up today for our weekly HTML newsletter and check out the Traders Nation store for products to enhance your stock trading day. Traders Nation, what you want, when you want it. Traders Nation.
Hey, Jeff Carlisa here from 38 Special, and we're rocking it up right here with Traders Nation.
Welcome back. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. My pleasure to have back with us once again Dee Carter. He's president of the Carter Financial Group. Plus, got a new book coming out here soon. It's Now or Never, How to Enjoy Your Life and Not Let Your Investments Own You. How about that? Dee, welcome to Traders Nation. How are you today?
It's good to be with you again. It's great. In fact, the book came out in July on Amazon.com, and it's done very, very well. Nice. We're very pleased with the way it's come.
Awesome. All right, head on over to Amazon.com, get a copy today. We'll talk about the tail end also, Dee.
Sure.
Hey, listen, so crude oil prices sharply lower on worries over signs of the economic slowdown in China. What's going on there, Dee?
Well, I think what we're seeing, too, and I think the price of West Texas Intermediate today is up to around $57 a barrel, which is about a 2 or 3% increase over the last couple of days. So it's coming back up, and I think part of that reason is because China just put forward a plan to eliminate its trade surplus with the United States, and I think there's a lot of things kind of hinging on that. We're looking at actually oil is at a 2-month high right now. Oil prices are. I think we're looking at some of that right now, Eric. I don't know that it's going to make that much difference because what we're seeing is a glut of oil right now. We've got more oil than we can use.
Yeah.
We don't have any place to stockpile what we're actually taking out of the ground.
Sure.
And the refineries are overloaded, and we don't, as you know, we don't have enough refineries in this country to take care of the problem.
Sure.
So we're sitting here watching what takes place, the trade situation with China, what's going on with OPEC. OPEC is almost stepped into a minor role lately, with with Iran and Iraq situation going on, with Russia pushing the Crimean thing real big, and Russia's become a bigger player in that market now. Even though they're not a member of OPEC, they're starting to be like the tail wagging the dog in a lot of ways in Europe. So we got a lot of things going on that are going to affect the price of oil and where it's going over the next, I think, 6 months to a year.
Sure. With the Russians, real quickly, they do a lot of gas, though, don't they? Aren't they majority gas?
They do a lot of gas over there, and their big problem with gas is like everyone else's, and that's trying to vent it, find a place to put it, trying to get it pipelined. And so, but they have a lot of natural gas. But they're moving up big on the oil field, in the oil field area, in the oil area. So they'll become a bigger player right now.
Right. And so let's talk about refineries, because you mentioned that. I still don't get it. I don't know why we don't have enough refineries unless, I can see, like, during this periods where it costs more to take it out of the ground, so they leave it in the ground, so therefore the refineries that we have in place are adequate. But you get in times like this to where, we're pulling it out like crazy. We're selling this oil, and we're selling the crude on the world market, and they're buying it like crazy too. And any thoughts in maybe bumping up another refinery, bring another one online or something?
The biggest problem we've had with refinery development has been the restrictions provided by our, God bless them, our government.
Yeah.
We've had so many restrictions and regulations about building refineries that no one wanted to take the bit in the teeth, if you will, and go ahead and build a new refinery.
Yeah.
However, some of those regulations have been relaxed with the Trump administration.
Yeah.
We're seeing, in fact, there is a rumor of a new refinery starting to be built in New Mexico, not far from Midland.
Nice.
So that would be a great outlet. Right now, we're stuck with Houston primarily. We have one in Big Spring, Texas, but it stays at top capacity because it's a small refinery.
Yeah.
And we have one in Oklahoma that we ship to. But we don't have the pipelines out of Midland. This is crazy. Midland is in the middle of the Permian Basin, which is now basically, with the new discoveries we've had, the only people that produce more oil than we do now are the United Arab Republic, if you will, the Arab Emirates. And we're creeping up on Iran, actually. So we've become the number 4 producer in the whole world is oil. But we don't have pipelines to get it to the refineries. So we're doing 2 new pipelines. They're reversing one pipeline, which is interesting, that used to flow from gasoline from the Houston area to Midland, a 36-incher.
Yeah.
And they're reversing it to put crude in it to send back to that same refinery. So they're doing a lot of things with it right now, Eric, but it's going to be a long time before some of this stuff take place, and we'll make a real big change in the market, I think.
Dee, I think that's so important for our country. Even if a refinery goes out or 2, we've got to have something to fall back onto. That redundancy, okay?
And you're right.
We got to have it, and the infrastructure to move that around. It doesn't do us any good if we can refine it, but we can't move it.
Our biggest problem in West Texas right now, if you try to drive anywhere, we drove to Abilene, which is only 150 miles away. Yeah. We drove to Abilene on Saturday, and I don't know how many oil-carrying trucks we passed and met on the highway. Interstate 20 is under construction almost constantly, and it's because of the traffic. The truck traffic in West Texas is tearing up the highway. So we're literally, we have an infrastructure problem, we have a pipeline problem, we have regulation problem.
Right.
All these things are leading to a buildup of a glut of oil right now that we just don't have any place to put.
Well, and real quickly, because I don't want to just beat it to death, but certainly with the regulations in building, I think with this administration, we got to get that infrastructure in place. We cut some of that red tape out of the way, then we can start building. Because it was the red tape that prevented people from actually being able to even break ground to build.
Absolutely, absolutely. The regulations just to get started were unbelievably large, but they have been removed to a large extent. So I think you're going to see some entrepreneurs that are going to take some investment money and put into the pipeline areas and also into refineries that will make the movement of the oil to the coast where it can be shipped out. We've become now, as you know, an exporter instead of an importer.
Yeah, I love it.
We now export, and I love it. That's what the man promised. I remember a former president, if I remember correctly, saying, how's he going to do that? Does he have a magic wand? Well, I guess he does, because he did it.
Yeah, he certainly did. I hate being at the mercy of any foreign entity, especially a terrorist government, Iran. We just cannot be at anybody's mercy. Even friends. We can't be at our friends' mercy. We have to have our own reliance, especially when it comes to energy. If that's gone, we're standing still. Not good at all. So you talked about the roads, a lot of trucks going on. Any of the traders concerned about oversaturating the market with crude?
They're really not, and the reason is because it's a long-term commodity. It's not something that's going to be here and gone tomorrow. With the regulations, I mean, the Energy Department is putting regulations on wind and solar and everything else. They're trying everything in the world to do it. But the oil industry is going to be around. I don't care what AOC says, bless her little pointed head. We're going to be around for a long time. She's not going to be able to do away with the petroleum industry, and if she does, she better get ready to find some other way to button her blouse and zip her skirt, because that's where the petroleum industry comes in. They make buttons and zippers too, as well as gasoline.
Makes me wonder It makes me wonder if she even knows that. Let's talk
I'm
about
sure
it.
she doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. We're almost out of time. I want to talk about a positive note here. Certainly consumers, we're going to see lower costs with fuel-related products because, you know, it takes fuel to get products to the store shelves, lower gas prices at the pump. We're going to see that consumers on the consumer side?
I think so. I think we're going to see that down the road because I don't think oil. I remember we talked about a year ago, and somebody was talking about $85 to $100 barrel oil, and I told you then that would not happen, and I was right, and it went through the way I said it was going to go.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying that we're not going to see. I don't think we're going to see $70 oil this year.
Okay.
But if we do, it will be because of the opening up of some of areas that we haven't opened up previously to now.
Sure.
I think we're going to see a price cut. I think the prices are going to go down because we do have a glut. And the consumer's going to read it. They're going to see it at the pump. They're going to see gasoline prices go down. Gasoline prices have gone down 30 and 40 cents a gallon already just in the last year.
Right.
So we're seeing that taking place now, which is great for the consumer.
Yeah.
And we've got plenty of oil out here in West Texas. We don't worry about it. $57 a barrel of oil.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys walking down the streets that are millionaires.
That's right. And I'm loving it. That's what it's all about. So let me ask you. We're out of time. I'll have to ask you on the next edition of Traders Nation. So, Dee, you can get a copy of Dee's book, It's Now or Never, How to Enjoy Your Life and Not Let Your Investments Own You, over there at Amazon.com or your local bookstore. Dee, you got a website we can find you at?
Just go to DeeCarterFinancial.com and you'll be able to get all the information you need.
All right, head on over there today. Dee, as always, appreciate your time here today.
You bet. Thanks for calling, buddy.
You bet. All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Bye.
Welcome back. You are tuned in to Traders Nation again. Appreciate Dee's time here today. Great information. If you missed that interview, man, check it out over at TradersNation.com or over at the YouTube channel today. Okay, Don. We left off with towers, Don. We talked about CCI, AMT, and SBAC. Let's shotgun some commentary out on these, Don. Your thoughts?
Well, we're winding our way here in 2019, and 5G is on the horizon, isn't it? Every day now you see more and more articles about 5G.
Yeah.
And once again, somebody's going to have to handle that traffic and enter CCI, AMT, SBAC, the main players here in the tower business. And another business, barrier to entry is high.
Difficult.
The data is going to be transmitted. It's going to be much faster. And so smart towers will be the wave of the future in this business.
Sure. Yeah, the bullet train of data, Don, is these tower companies. I mean, they move this stuff around. CCI, AMT is Alpha Mary Tango, and SBAC, Sam Bravo Alpha Charlie. Keep it on your radar. Don, do you know any stocks we talk about today?
No, none.
Yeah, I don't either. They're not buy or sell recommendations also. You can find Don over at all the social media websites. Get involved, folks. Like, share, comment, all that good stuff. You can find me also Twitter, Facebook, all those places too. Hey, we appreciate you tuning in. You have a great day, and we'll see you on the next edition of Traders Nation. Right, Don?
That's it.
All right.